my inverter came. I was just looking through the literature on it, and I'm gonna have to change the way I have my wiring in there because there's no breakers on the out here. This is made to go to a sub panel, and then the lines that are coming out of it go through a breaker on that for the 110 side. So it's not just a plug and play like I thought it was going to be. The current one has breakers right here, and then the outlets that go out, you know, they have a 20 amp breaker on each one. So not quite as plug and play as I thought for the setup that I have, but it'll be nice when I get it done. That's the model number. I think I posted a link a couple days ago to it. And I got the remote panel for it too. I'll plug into it. So anyways, I think tomorrow I'll try and tackle that. I'll have to make a trip to Lowe's to get a sub panel to hook up in there. So here's the instructions on that, with it recalling a sub panel because there's no breaker. So when it's using pass-through, well, of course, then the power coming from the main circuit breaker that's powering this has a breaker on it. But when this is creating, you know, the AC side, the 120 AC side, there is no breaker in it. So you need to put a sub panel in with breakers on it to feed that. And then one other thing that's really important is this right here. That's the neutral to ground connection. So neutral to ground bond, like in your house, is very different than the neutral to ground bond that you want to have in the RV. In an RV, you do not want the neutral and the ground tied together, bonded together. They need to stay separate. So even in a breaker box panel, the neutrals and the grounds are not connected together. They're completely separate and isolated. We had to add a separate bus bar on the side to isolate our grounds, so the neutral wasn't connected to it when we did it. It's very important with an RV because otherwise you can create a hot skin situation where somebody walks up to the bus, they touch the outside of it, and some of the ground is attached to the neutral, and sometimes the neutral has a couple little charges floating on it, and they can get electrocuted that way. It's very dangerous. So the power inverter comes ready, like, so you can use it in your house where the neutral and the ground are bonded together. You need to disconnect this thing when you hook it up in the RV. So this wire needs to come back out so they're not tied back in together. That's very important with the install on an RV. Otherwise, all the safety precautions that we took of keeping everything isolated and separated, this would defeat that purpose. So it just takes one thing you plug in somewhere that's going to mess it up, and that's it. A couple things that I got today from Amazon. I got my backup camera monitor went out, so I ordered a little tiny backup monitor. It came today. I'll put a link in the description to it, but it's just a tiny little color monitor. It's smaller than the one that I had now. I actually thought the one that I had was too big, so the one that I had came free with something a long time ago, so that was very inexpensive. And these, I'm excited to use them because there are some special little connectors in here. Hang on a second, let me pause this. Okay, so I've not used these before, but I watched a demo on them online, and it's a butt connector with a little solder tube in the middle of it, and the whole thing is heat shrink. So you just cut the two wires, and you stick the two wires in each end together here so that they're overlapping in that area there, and then you just take the heat gun, whatever you're using, and it'll melt that solder. The solder applies the wires together, and then it heat shrinks the whole connection. It's supposed to be a really good butt connector, so it's with the heat shrink and everything and the solder built into it. When I saw a demo of it online, I was like, oh, that's cool, I want to have some of that. You know, so you don't have to use like Scotch locks or something like that that people hate. So anyways, I bought this set. It was on Amazon. It wasn't very much money, and it's got regular butt connectors in there too, and these are all I don't remember how many different sizes there were here, but this is a kit. I'll put a link to that on there too from Amazon. And I do have an Amazon affiliate account, so if you happen to buy something that I post a link for on Amazon, I do get credit for it. And if you're wanting to help support our channel, if you click on any of those Amazon links and then go buy whatever else you're going to buy, you don't have to buy what I have on there, but just by clicking that link, we do get a commission on other things that you buy. I don't know if you knew that's how that worked or not. So if you want to find another way to support us, and then just, you know, we don't know who buys what, but it puts a cookie on there, and if you go and buy something on your Amazon account after you clicked our link within like the next 24 hours, we get a small commission on that. So that was just another way to help support us a little bit. So let's talk about the head. I got the head, and I needed to buy some extra parts for it, which I knew. So I was missing all of the exhaust manifold studs, and the exhaust manifold studs go into the water jacket. So I went ahead and bought the ones like this directly from the machine shop. They were like $3 a piece. So all this stuff adds up, as you're gonna see. These are the so these are the studs for the water manifold, and then I needed washers to go underneath the fuel pipes, the fuel stands, risers that are on there, because I got to switch them over from my one head to the other one. So the head was supposed to be $600, and technically it came in at $600. They had to go through and do a few things to it. See if I can pull this out here, if we can read his handwriting here. You know, it was already degreased and pretty clean, but they did pressure wash it, and then they magnafluxed it, pressure test it, and magnaflux it. They machined the surface head, or the surface. Is that what that says? Cylinder head milled the surface. Yep. The valve guides, they removed the old ones and installed the new ones. The valve seats. I just assume that means they ground them to machine. Is that what it says? Valve seats to machine, I guess. The injector tubes, they did those, installed them, machined them. They assembled the head by putting the valves in it, and then just made a note that I furnished all the parts, and none of the parts are warranted on there. So $600 for the head, but the bill was $965.53. So I knew I was going to have a head gasket kit for it, and so I got a genuine Detroit diesel, the head gasket set. So that's all the gaskets that you need to remove a head. So that was on there. That was $101. The valve stems I didn't have seals for them. So we had new valve guides, but we didn't have the seals for them. So that was $94 for the seals. And then these are the washers. I had to buy an extra 12 of them because I need to give them to Staples. So when he puts his from his head, switches them over, he'll have the new ones because you can't reuse those washers. So technically $25 of that was going to go to Staples anyways. And he bought my other head. He paid $900 for it, which I just paid $700 to have it remanned. And then the gasket set, which was $101. The valve cover gasket, that's for Staples. He ordered that. That's on his bill. They crossed that off of there. And then the two sets of the studs that I needed. So the total of all that was $328.39 plus the $600. And the $600 had tax on it as well. So it came to $965.53 when my wife was just expecting me to spend $600. So she wasn't very happy with me about that. Let's go look at the head. So here's the head. Came out real pretty. And the valve stems, or the valves are the Inconel. They got the U on them, and they are not magnetic. The last four, for some reason, they don't have the U on them, but they're not magnetic either. So, but yeah, the head came out real nice. Surface looks great on it. And then, nice enough to leave a note that all the plugs are loose on it. And this is the rest of them here in a bag. So, just got a finished assembly with the rockers and everything. But I'm real happy with what they did. I think they did a great job. And the $600, I knew it was going to be at least $700 because the gasket set was going to be more. But I didn't expect the extra, $200 more and other things. $100 for the valve guide seals on there. That's kind of crazy, I thought, but I should have paid attention. They don't, not all heads have those, so you can have the valve guides in the Detroits that don't have seals on them. But I actually probably prefer that there's seals in it, so. It is what it is. I sold the other one for $9. This one cost me $9, and then plus the $500 that I paid for it, and then the other one I paid $700 to have it machined. So if you add all that up, $960 plus 7 plus 5, and then minus 900, that's what I'm into it for. I'll let you do the math on that. I don't want to know the number. So I probably could have just bought a 4-valve head that was already done for less money than what I've got right now. But at least, you know, Staples will have a head for his bus, and Tyler's going to go down there on Wednesday and replace the bad head on Staples' bus with the head from mine.